we at nasscom Insights are excited to announce the launch of our new report titled Cloud and Gen AI, a Synergistic Future. Some key highlights of the report are: approximately 15 billion was spent on Gen AI in 2023, powering a massive reshape of cloud infrastructure. Even though Gen AI unlocks exciting possibilities, cloud infrastructure faces hurdles with factors like rising costs, complex integration, specialized hardware support, and specialized skills. At the same time, factors like inbuilt scalability, efficiency gains, and standardized tools and frameworks foster interoperability and portability. 2022 to 24 witnessed a rapid evolution in cloud platforms, hardware, APIs, and creative applications fueled by innovations as Gen AI took center stage. Tech Stack for Cloud leverages cloud computing resources to enable the development, training, and deployment of Gen AI models. The India's cloud ecosystem is booming with 100 plus companies flourishing with partnerships and collaborations in Gen AI adoption. Cloud infrastructure providers are teaming up with AI hardware vendors and LLM providers, collaborating with global players and domestic startups. Government programs promoting research, funding startups, and creating open datasets contribute to the ecosystem's growth. The collaboration between universities and research institutions with industry partners focuses on innovation and talent development in the field of Gen AI. nasscom conducted the 2024 State of Cloud Enterprises Survey of IT leaders, CIOs, CTOs across multiple geographies to examine current adoption patterns, future expectations, and challenges associated with cloud services. Through the survey, it was found that balanced cloud strategy emerges as preferred model for managing generative AI-driven cloud expansion. BFSI, healthcare, and manufacturing are surging ahead in terms of Gen AI-enabled cloud adoption. Secure cloud infrastructure is the most essential factor for building trust in AI. However, inconsistent enterprise cloud strategies is keeping a lot of generative AI projects in pipeline. And future-proofing cloud for generative AI use will require focus on scalable resources, security, and training. Apart from this, nasscom also spoke to a lot of leaders of cloud service providers, infrastructure, and data storage enterprises. They are empowering users by offering solutions across 4 key themes. The first is high-performance AI, that is cutting-edge cloud infrastructure optimized for demanding Gen AI workloads. The second is secure solutions, that is robust security and compliance solutions tailored for generative AI projects. The third is cost savings, which includes the pay-as-you-go models, reduced infrastructure investments. And the last, integrations with ease with APIs, SDKs, data pipeline, containerization, and MLOps tools. The report also talks about the balancing transformative power of cloud-based Gen AI with eco-friendly responsibility that requires sustainable data center practices and development of energy-efficient models. And thus, the future of Gen AI promises to unlock a lot of possibilities across diverse sectors, shaping a more innovative and efficient cloud landscape. So starting off with our session today, hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Tech Talks with nasscom Insights. I'm Sneha, analyst, nasscom Insights, and I'll be your host for today. In today's episode, we'll talk about navigating cloud in the generative AI era. The cloud computing industry is undergoing a significant transformation driven by the emergence of generative AI. This powerful technology is not only optimizing how we manage resources, but also unlocking entirely new possibilities for personalized applications and data exploration. In this webinar, we'll discuss how this dynamic duo is redefining the whole cloud ecosystem, empowering the users, and shaping a more sustainable futures. On behalf of NASCOM Insights, I would like to welcome our first panelist, Piyush Saxena, who is the SVP Cloud Business and Offering Management, Cloud Smart at HCLTech. He has a broad range of business experience with over 2 decades in IT, business service, and delivery operations in HCLTech. He has been associated with hybrid, multi-cloud business, pre-sales solution creation, validation, center of competency, and deployment in key customer engagements. He has been responsible for incubation, testing, and go-to-market for solutions. Welcome, Piyush. Our next panelist is Bhaskar Dhawan. He is the Senior Vice President at Mastek, where he leads the global service line for digital engineering and experience. With a focus on leveraging digital, cloud, and AI technologies, Bhaskar leadership provides invaluable guidance in crafting forward-thinking solutions. His expertise empowers clients to enhance customer experiences, drive growth, and achieve operational efficiencies. Welcome on board, Bhaskar. Our next panelist is Bala. Guru is a strong technology leader passionate about helping customers leverage technology for meaningful business outcomes. Currently at AWS India, he and his team of technical specialists, data scientists, and machine learning architects help customers drive innovation and growth through adoption of several AWS specialized services such as Generative AI. Welcome, Guru.
Thank you.
Our next panelist is Raj, also known as Rajaneesh Kurup. He, in his role as Director of Segment Strategy and Go-to-Market at Equinix, is responsible for defining Equinix strategy, focus on key industry segments in Asia Pacific. He works with Equinix customers to transform their business models in order to participate and compete in the digital economy by re-architecting a sustainable digital infrastructure and build a differentiated advantage, leveraging the power of an ecosystem of partners. Welcome, Raj.
Hello, everyone.
With introductions in place, viewers, let's get this session rolling. For our first question would be for Guru, and it revolves around the cloud getting redefined after the advent of Gen AI. So Guru, beyond core functionalities from user experience, service offerings to potential disruptions within the established cloud landscape, how is the advent of generative AI fundamentally reshaping the whole cloud industry?
Yeah, thanks, Neha. So, generative AI represents a major technological advancement that can enhance customer experiences, transform operations, improve employee productivity, and create new revenue streams. More than that, it is a different way of doing IT and cloud services, one in which model training, inferencing, and data curation substitute for coding logic, configuring multiple cloud services, in helping customers deliver software and application capabilities. More so, it is enabling executives across all functions to be able to do more through just what we call as prompting techniques without the need to know cloud computing or coding skills. And platforms like AWS make it even more easier by offering LLMs as an API, abstracting the need to procure GPUs and host LLMs. So services like AWS App Studio, which is a low-code tool, helps to create enterprise-grade applications in minutes. What would otherwise take several man-days across multiple teams and cloud services now takes a few minutes to a few hours to create and deploy an enterprise-grade application. So in essence, we see that generative AI is redefining the way cloud services are being built, deployed, and consumed in today's world.
Thanks, Guru. I think that was really well explained. it is time to get Raj into the conversation and discuss how is the traditional infrastructure adapting to the demands of generative AI workloads, and what are the key architectural changes that technological advancements require.
So if we look at what is happening right now broadly, businesses are becoming more and more global and distributed. They have distributed operations, distributed customer base, distributed supply chains, and they need to also respond to the changing market dynamics with agility. With more digital engagement now, they need to improve and solve for user experience. They also need to build new revenue streams, and a little bit about that. Guru touched on that as well. Now, if you look at what is happening when you look at the digital leaders in the industry, so they have been designing their infrastructure to be more distributed and in close proximity to their distributed operations or population centers where they are serving. Essentially, they are connecting with a rich ecosystem of partners and integrating those capabilities, be it the clouds or the network service providers or even industry specific services that are evolving, and that includes the evolving AI ecosystem. So all this has been happening, and primarily what they've been doing is they've been optimizing network connectivity to move large amount of data. They have been connecting multiple clouds, hybrid multi-cloud architectures, and even cloud adjacent architecture to transform their legacy core infrastructure. They have been using ecosystems to integrate capabilities, but also build and sell services in the digital marketplace. And we touched on user experience, right? And proximity is definitely very, very important, because again, latency adds to the user experience challenges. So it's all about solving for physics. So distributing the applications in close proximity to all those key locations is going to be very, 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 very important. Now, if we look at AI workloads, and again, the demands for AI workloads, not all infrastructure needs are similar. Right? If we look at both the training and the inference workloads, what we typically see is that for the training workloads, they may not have so much of latency requirements, but they should be able to integrate multiple data sources. They need highly dense deployments. Again, we touched on GPUs and high density specialized hardware. Ecosystems are also going to become more and more important. So they also need to think about, if you're not consuming from the clouds, then if you're building it, then you need to think about new ways of cooling those infrastructure as well. So that's going to be very, very important. When you talk about inference workloads, on the other hand, it's more location sensitive. Again, it's latency sensitive, so you might want to take real-time decisions. So it needs to be deployed in close proximity to those distributed locations. Generally, standard compute infrastructure could suffice. And again, an edge to cloud architecture is going to be very, very important there. So I might be simplifying this a little bit too much, but we need to carefully look at use cases to see how the infrastructure placement would be and how would you design your infrastructure. But fundamentally, three things are not changing, right? Customers need to start thinking about their data architecture first. With the right data architecture, you can get the right data at the right places to fuel the AI models, right? So data is going to be the foundation. And again, that could start with building on an authoritative data core, if we look at it, right? Secondly, hyperconnectivity, moving large amount of data to these training locations, for example, or integrating data from the partners and so on. Connectivity is going to be important. Access to ecosystem is going to be important. So low latency, high bandwidth connectivity is going to be very, very important. And third aspect, which again, more and more organizations are becoming, sustainability focused. So they also need to start thinking about sustainability as a key aspect as well. So again, it could come from both sustainably powering and operating the infrastructure, but also using AI in a sustainable manner as well, right? So all those are going to be quite critical.
Sure, I think those are some great points, Raj. Thank you. And taking your point of ecosystems into account, my next question is for you, Bhaskar. What role do you think the partnerships will play in accelerating the generative AI adoption within the cloud? And how can the CSPs and enterprises collaborate effectively to, unlock the full potential of this technology?
Yeah. No, so I think Gen AI presents an immense opportunity, right, for innovation to enterprises across industries with its ability to kind of generate content, images, audio. There are a lot of use cases where Gen AI can help. And partnerships are pivotal in kind of accelerating the adoption of Gen AI within the cloud. And I will kind of put it into four broad areas. The first one is access to advanced AI capabilities, right? And essentially, what it means is that it is going to reduce the barriers to entry for most of the enterprises who are looking to kind of integrate Gen AI into their operations. The CSPs, as we know, right, they have access to advanced AI capabilities. They have extensive resources. They're kind of having dedicated research and development investments going on into those areas, and enterprises can get access to cutting edge AI technologies, the tools, the frameworks that are essential for deploying and managing those Gen AI solutions effectively. The second one, I think we kind of touched upon in the previous conversation, is around how kind of cloud provides scalability, flexibility, the data centers, how they will play a role, right? So cloud platform essentially gives scalability and flexibility that are essential for Gen AI application, whether you are planning to kind of train a model where vast amount of data is required to be stored, it needs to be cleaned, or you are basically deploying AI-driven applications globally where you need the scale, the security, right? And the other advantage that CSPs also bring in is the flexibility in terms of pay-as-you-go model, right? Where enterprises are experimenting, they don't know, okay, what would be the cost, what would be the ROI. So the pay-as-you-go model will really help enterprises manage the cost as well as plan for the ROI accordingly and make investments in those specific use cases accordingly. The third one is the domain specific expertise that CSPs can bring in, right? So enterprises can get that domain specific expertise and industry knowledge that could be invaluable, right? And it can really reduce time to market for them, right? There are complexities related to industry compliances, etc., right? How Gen AI solutions need to be tailored for different sectors. All that knowledge, all that domain specific expertise can be brought in through CSPs. The fourth one is the security, compliance, and model evaluation services to a certain extent, right? So CSPs invest heavily in security, the robust data centers that they have, the compliance certifications, and more importantly, that I see happening is it is important if you're leveraging Gen AI application, you need to look at the models, whether they are biased, they're fair. You have to check it for their toxicity, the accuracy, etc., etc. And CSP bring in all those kinds of services as well to enterprises to help them evaluate the models and ensure that they are deploying appropriate applications onto production that has access to all of their stakeholders, right? So all in all, these four are the core areas that I feel are pivotal in terms of helping enterprises accelerate the Gen AI adoption. And to kind of fully unlock the potential, I would say there could be few strategies that can be applied. This is more related to how they can kind of work with CSPs. The enterprises can get into co-innovation programs where they can establish joint innovation labs or kind of co-innovate programs where they can share knowledge, share resources, reduce risk, right? Which can again lead to accelerated development and deployment timelines. Then another important aspect that I believe is the integration with existing systems, right? So CSPs offer seamless integration capabilities with their existing enterprise systems and workflow. So if someone is already having workloads deployed on Azure or AWS, right? The new Gen AI services being released can be easily integrated with the existing workflows. That will minimize the disruptions as well for enterprises. And then, of course, there is a lot of help that enterprises can get through training and support, right? The technical support, access to AI experts, certification, workshops, that itself will play a good role in terms of creating that excitement internally into the enterprises in adoption of Gen AI for different use cases. So all in all, I think enterprises should ensure that they have a sound strategy around partnership with CSP with an intent to drive value out of that relationship.
So I think those are some great insights. Thanks, Bhaskar. And now talking about the most important element, the end user demands. Piyush, could you elaborate on how the needs and expectations of end users are evolving in the context of generative AI powered cloud services? And what are the key challenges and opportunities for CSPs in meeting these demands?
Sure, Neha, and thank you. Very interesting conversation. Uh, I recently was traveling. I'm based out of New Delhi, but I was traveling to Bangalore, and I met my uncle. He's in his 90s, and he asked me this interesting question that Piyush, you have been working in this industry. Explain to me what is Gen AI, and how can I use it? And it was so I was so happy to have this question, and the kind of awareness Gen AI has created. Nobody is untouched, right? It took me some time to explain it to him, but I was so happy to see the passion with which he had asked this question. So the expectations are very different from different consumers. How we define and identify the two different set of consumers of Gen AI, right? I personally like to explain it by using the terminology which most of us in the IT world are aware of. There is back-end applications and there are front-end applications. Back-end applications are where internal processes are being taken care of. Front-end applications are those which are connecting to the end consumers, right? So Gen AI users also you can categorize in these two terms. There are developers, there are marketing users, there are HR users who are utilizing this technology day in and day out. For example, developers are utilizing this for software development, right? How do they push the code using Gen AI? How do they do code summarization, content summarization, and a lot of these things which are helping them in their productivity, right? Similarly, any marketing executive is helping this, utilizing Gen AI for content creation, right? Selecting the right images. HR, for example, is doing the complete employee lifecycle management today using Gen AI. Contract audits, right? So those are the kind of things which are happening at the back end, I would see. Then there is B2B, B2C, where you see a lot of consumers getting directly impacted. When I today watch Netflix already knows, what are my personal preferences, and they will give me recommendations, with more often, are the right recommendations. If I'm ordering something through Amazon, they would predict that, you are going to fall short of this supply, so why don't you order it now? Tata 1mg or many other platforms are able to predict the, consumer requirements. Insurance companies are utilizing it for claim processing, right? They have done away with a lot of 24/7 support through the chatbots, through understanding of what consumer preferences are. Claim processing has become extremely easier, right? So that's how the consumers are consuming this, and the expectations are very different from different. Someone like my uncle has very different expectations. Someone who's paying for these services has very different expectations. I think democratization of Gen AI is something which everyone wants, right? They want free access to this technology so that they can use it the way they want to, and that's the number one preference, I would say. Data privacy, as Bhaskar, Raj talked about, is a key concern. When we are talking to most of our customers, they want to evaluate and deploy Gen AI based use cases, but they are concerned about data privacy, security. So that's a real challenge. How do we address some of these problems? Now, also Gen AI is an expensive technology at this point in time, right? So how do we convince the customers? Some of the business use cases I about are giving a very clear return on investment, but some of the back-end use cases I talked about, we still have to go back and prove the productivity benefits. How do we convince the customers to deploy these solutions, which are extremely expensive, by highlighting the ROI and the value it delivers, right? So that's kind of a context in which these are being used. We have talked a lot about the challenges which CSPs are facing in terms of deploying this. Data privacy, security, we already talked about. Raj talked about how from the distributed infrastructure point of view, we can take care of some of these challenges. Bhaskar talked about model development, deployment. These are not easy things, and a lot needs to be achieved in terms of making it mainstream, both for the enterprise customers as well as for B2B, B2C consumers. Yeah.
Thanks, Piyush. I think that was very nicely put and correlated with different user roles. So thanks for those great points. With this, we come to the end of episode 1 of our discussion. Our conversation with Piyush, Guru, Bhaskar, and Raj will continue. So stay tuned for episode 2 of this discussion. Till then, like, share, and comment on the video, and don't forget to subscribe NASSCOM Insights YouTube channel. We'll be back shortly.